This broadcast is the property of Codependents Anonymous. Reproduction without written permission from Codependents Anonymous is not permitted.
Right, so we have CoDA Inspirations Writing Workshop, Daily Meditations for Recovery of Codependence. And which one are we? We're Sara J. We had 3 on there, so Sara J. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Sara, codependent from Tucson, Arizona. Okay. All right. And there's 2 other members that are going to be presenting with me, Terry, who is virtual, and Debbie, who is virtual. I don't know, you might want to put your hands up so you're up there the whole time.
Yeah. Who's the other person?
Debbie?
Put your hand up, I can.
Debbie W. Or W, I'm sorry. What's your last initial? K.
First name?
Debbie K.
Debbie K. Okay. If you put your hand up, I'll bring you forward.
Just
Debbie.
putting my initial in there. Here we go.
Okay. And you. Oh, Debbie,
I'll
you.
put my hand up now.
Okay. Add you in. There you go. Thank you so much. Okay.
Okay, here we go. I'm Sara, codependent. I think I said that. We want to start with the CoDA opening prayer. Hopefully you're getting a handout. It's on the handout. CoDA opening prayer. In the spirit of love and truth, we ask our higher power to guide us as we share our experience, strength, and hope. We open our hearts to the light of wisdom, the warmth of love, and the joy of acceptance. So the blurb is, have you ever considered capturing your CoDA experience, strength, and hope in writing? Whether you are newer to CoDA, have been around for a long time, or anywhere in between, your insights are valuable. You are invited to join us in an active writing workshop. Your finished work may be included in a new CoDA Daily Meditation Reader, Lighting Our Path, Daily Meditations for Recovering Codependence. So whether you consider yourself a writer or not, you are welcome here and have something to contribute. And we will now share how we feel about CoDA literature. And my sponsor in another program suggested CoDA to me. My first meeting, October 16th, 1999, was fabulous because of the things that were read. The preamble, the welcome. Step 1, which is very different from the step 1 in my other program, Powerless Over Others, and what the patterns were at that time. Later came more and more literature. I'm in several other programs, and none of them has the quality or quantity that CoDA has, from Codependents Anonymous to the little pamphlets, which are free online. So many relationship-related topics. I don't consider myself a writer. I'm one of those who groan and draw a blank when my sponsor says, why don't you write about that? Having a topic helps. Going to the literature helps. And there are more ideas to come. Thank you. I want to turn it over to Terry.
Hi, thanks, Sara. I'm Terry, grateful to be in recovery, codependent. This year is my 30th year in CoDA. I can't even believe it. It's almost all of, well, no, it's getting up to there to be a lot of my adult life. I truly believe CoDA saved my life, absolutely. I was on a not great trajectory. And, in fact, actually, when I came to CoDA 30 years ago, there wasn't any literature, or else there were some handouts. That was about it. I think we had some step pamphlets, maybe not right in the beginning. But in any case, we did have the preamble, the welcome, and the steps and traditions, and some other things. But when the CoDA book came out, Codependents Anonymous, it was such a game changer for me. I can remember at the time when I first came into CoDA thinking, how hard could it be to learn 12 steps? Little did I know that it's the work of a lifetime. Thank goodness I didn't know that then. I might have run screaming. But I'm just so glad that we have this wonderful program and the terrific literature that we have. My thing for writing, I will, in all honesty, I will say I have not written a meditation yet. I really like to write and edit. Meditations or prayers or things like that are not, they don't come easily to me. So I just need to sit myself down and do some writing. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm hoping that everyone will, get something from the workshop and have a good experience. Thank you. I pass.
Oh, Debbie?
To Debbie.
Yeah. Thank you, Terry and Sara, for coming on board and really supporting this initiative to create a new daily reader. I've been in CoDA going on 10 years now, but for about 9 of those years I've been reading this, in this moment, daily meditation. It's well worn. And even being part of a phone meeting that reads it every single day. So one day we were reading something from that talked about springtime and the flowers, and one of my friends just started laughing, and she said, "We're getting ready for a nor'easter here." And so I wrote one just for her along the same lines. And I just want to say that writing has become so invaluable to me. I just really encourage it as a way of growth, as a way of recovery. Sometimes I'll have an aha moment, and if I don't write it down right then, I will forget it. And when I write down and I look at some of my journals from 9 years ago or 10 years ago, I can see my recovery. Sometimes when I'm feeling like I'm not going anywhere and not getting anywhere, having that in writing just really helps me to remember that I'm on a journey. It's a process. It's not a one and done. I, like Terry, thought that when I first came to CoDA, okay, I'm going to, do 1 step a week, and in 3 months I'm going to be done, and 4 months, whatever. And then I also learned it is invaluable. The face-to-face meetings are invaluable. And even our literature tells us sharing is a part of our recovery. So when we share verbally, it lasts in the room. But when we share our experience, strength, and hope in writing, through connections, or through our own private journal, it gets adhered to our memory. And it's been a valuable gift to me, and I hope to share that. Thank you for letting me be part of this.
Thanks, Terry and Debbie. So today we are writing with a purpose. We are writing to come together to write our experience, strength, and hope. It's a time set aside for the recovery tool of writing. Inspiration is so fleeting if not written down, as was mentioned. The benefits of writing, internal benefits for ourselves, are connection with higher power, connection with our inner wisdom, greater understanding of ourselves in recovery. Writing enhances our memory and leads to revelations and captures thoughts for my future reflection. External benefits of sharing what we have written carries the message to other codependents, captures thoughts for others' future reflection, and builds CoDA unity. So the inspiration can come in many ways: reading CoDA literature, listening or sharing at meetings, writing after prayer and meditation. And as mentioned today, if you would like, you have the option to carry the message in writing for the new daily reader called Lighting Our Path, Daily Meditations for Recovering Codependents. And this is not to replace In This Moment, which is a great book in itself, but to add another one. And our goal is to have a quote from CoDA conference endorsed literature and follow the quote with your personal writing. And the writing could be on a step, tradition, service concept, promise, any code of literature, or another topic. And we're estimating approximately 100 to 200 words, but go for it. And I might add there's another code of literature book coming out called Story Gatherers. So if you go on and on telling your story, that is valuable as well. And you can submit these things if you wish to literature@coda.org. So, I just want to mention, I try to wear appropriate t-shirts, and hopefully this will inspire you. It says, "Cat, stop me, meow, I'm on a roll." I do like cats.
Very nice.
Okay, now we'll have 20 minutes approximately of writing time. If you don't have paper and a pen or a computer, let me know, and we'll bring paper and pens around.
Hey, Sarah,
Yes,
I'm just wondering if anybody has any questions or comments.
we should
they might
stop
like-
for questions. Yes, I think somebody.
I know that the In This Moment is a very specific format, and I'm wondering, I was expecting you to give us a format, but is this more free form?
It is. We do have a suggested format of. Oh, I forgot to mention. There's every piece of CoDA literature up at these chairs up here. So if you would like some inspiration from CoDA endorsed literature, please come up and grab something. You know, some people open it up and say, "This is what I'm inspired to write about." So yeah, that if you don't have a quote, I'm sure we can work with you on finding one. I have it on Kindle so I can search your topic. And let's see, what else? Then your personal writing, approximately 100 to 200 words. It may be a little bit bigger sized book, like the Codependents Anonymous size books, so you're not limited to the shorter ones that are in this moment. Shorter ones are welcome too. Any other questions?
I have a virtual request.
Okay.
And could you put the writing prompt in the chat, please? So maybe Debbie or Terry can. I didn't hear it to be able to.
The prompt?
Sorry, I was taking care of things in the background, so I'm just wondering if there was a writing prompt. It sort of sounds like it wasn't clear enough, and if it could be written in the chat, please. If there is any.
Are you looking? May I just ask? I'm sorry to interject, Sarah. May I just ask? Are you looking for the requirements that we're looking for this particular writing, or an example? Because I could, maybe put an example up there. Or Sarah, if you have one.
The person's response is in the chat, and it says our assignment.
To write and share your experience.
Could you just respond maybe in the chat to things that are particular to your workshop?
Oh, right.
That might be.
You guys got that?
Do we have any more in-person questions?
To everyone? Should I respond to everyone? Sorry, I don't use chat much.
Yeah.
So because they're putting it in the everyone, it's an everyone question, and so would everyone answer? That's helpful. Direct messages will come directly to you, and then maybe directly answer, because some people are conscientious of their anonymity.
That's fine.
Debbie has a question. Debbie?
Yes. Did you want the outline put into the chat? Is that what is being requested?
Yeah, if that's possible. It looks like that's what somebody's asking. Is that doable? I don't know if I have that.
Too large. It's too large. I can cut it down.
Okay. If somebody sends it to me, or maybe you can just pop it in your screen and screen share. If you send it to events email, then I can open it and put it up.
I can send it to you, events@coda.org.
Yeah.
Is that the best email? Okay.
And then I see that Leisha has her hand raised. I don't know if you're taking questions. That was
Sure,
kind of technical stuff.
Question time.
Leisha has her hand up.
Is it okay to ask? And thank you guys for your service. This was in regards to the new in this moment and making submissions. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me okay. Okay, but my question was, if I were to write something and submit it, does somebody edit it?
We can work with you, yes.
Back whether or not it'll be used, I'm just curious.
Literature committee often, grammar, punctuation, but if there's questions or anything, we can work with you on whatever. So I don't believe we edit it without checking with you.
Great. I was just curious. Thank you so much.
There's some questions in the chat about what are we to write about right now. And if I might just say, actually asking for anything that you want to write about in regard to your experience, strength, and hope. You can write about anything. For the particular new Lighting Our Path, we're looking for inspiration that's coming from something that you've read in CoDA literature. But right now, you can write anything that comes from your experience and hope. But often you'll pick up a little piece. I think I wrote something on protection the other day. It was from the Codependents Anonymous Blue Book about we no longer remain in denial by accusing others of behavior that is their own correct. And that's something that I submitted for that information is something that I submitted because it resonated with me. And I had a story to tell her. I had some experience, strength, and hope in regard to that. So if you don't have anything, there's some literature available that you can write on, or if you don't have a particular quote available, you could still write your experience, strength, and hope. And my guess is there would be a piece of CoDA literature that had that from your recovery that had something about that subject or that topic in there. So whatever is near and dear to your heart, we want to take 20 minutes to share our experience, strength, and hope by writing those things down. I hope that helps.
Yes, and perhaps something
if I could
you've
just say
heard.
one other thing, it could be something simple as one of the promises or a step or a tradition or, something from the welcome or the preamble. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be like research looking through a book right now unless you want to. It could just whatever.
Can you hear me? No?
Yes.
Yes. So if you heard anything at the convention so far that really resonated with you, that would be another good topic. And again, feel free to peruse the literature up here. And any other questions? Excuse me. I forgot to read a couple of samples that we've already gotten. So if you care to listen or if you want to keep writing. Okay, this one is called, it's from the In This Moment book. In this moment, I know a new way is better. Letting go of people-pleasing. My codependent characteristic of people-pleasing may have been based on my alcoholic parent always saying no, sometimes before the question was completely out of my mouth. Mom, can I? No. Needing approval, needing a yes that never came, I sought that approval from others. I'd go out of my way to be liked. If I got into an elevator with a stranger, I'd know their history before we reached our floor, and they would like me. With the help of my higher power, whom I call God, CoDA has brought me to a new level of authenticity. I can love myself and see myself more as my loving God sees me. Love brought me an acceptance of me as I am, gifts and flaws and all. I do not need to define myself by what another person thinks of me. Letting go of my neediness was painful. working the program and recognizing character defects hard, but necessary for my healing. This new way is better, remembering that the only requirement for membership is a desire for healthy and loving relationships. Thank God this is becoming true for me. Love is key in my relationship with God, with myself, and with others. Thank you, CoDA.
Hi, Sarah. It's Carol, codependent. And I didn't press record, so I'm going to press record. And if you could just give that prompt and maybe that reading sample, and that would set us going back on track and for the rest of your workshop recording. Would that be okay?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you're
So Carol events, and I didn't press record when your workshop started.
Oh.
But during the silence, this is my idea, and you can just decide.
Yes.
If you could give a little intro again, yourself, Terry and Debbie's name, and then what this writing prompting, as you have already given it, and with a few minutes that are left, and also maybe the sample writing, and that's, and then whenever you're ready to resume again from the time of writing, just carry on. And is that all right? I'm going to press record if you're fine with that.
That sounds great. Will do.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, hi, I'm Sara, codependent. We're restarting. I want to introduce Terry and Debbie, who are virtual today, and they have their hands up. So this is a writing workshop. Have you ever considered capturing your CoDA experience, strength, and hope in writing? Whether you are newer to CoDA, have been around for a long time, or anywhere in between, your insights are valuable. You are invited to join us in an active writing workshop. Your finished work may be included in the new CoDA Daily Meditation Reader, Lighting Our Path Daily Meditations for Recovering Codependents. And I wanted to start this, let me stop my timer, with the CoDA opening prayer. In the spirit of love and truth, we ask our higher power to guide us as we share our experience, strength, and hope. We open our hearts to the light of wisdom, the warmth of love, and the joy of acceptance. So whether you or not you consider yourself a writer, you are welcome here and have something to contribute. And I will share how I feel about CoDA literature. Sara, codependent, my sponsor in another program, suggested CoDA. My first meeting, October 16th, 1999, was fabulous because of the things that were read. The preamble, the welcome, step one, which was very different from step one in my other program, the traditions and what the patterns were at that time. Later came more and more literature. I'm in several other programs, and none of them has the quantity or quality that CoDA has, from Codependents Anonymous to the little pamphlets, which are free online. So many relationship-related topics. I don't consider myself a writer. I'm one of those who groan and draw a blank when my sponsor says, "Why don't you write about that?" Having a topic helps. Going to the literature helps, and more ideas to come. Thank you. Terry?
Hi, Terry, codependent. I've been in CoDA so long that when I first started, there was no CoDA literature other than other than the foundational documents, the steps, the traditions, the preamble, and the welcome. Switching from outside literature to CoDA-produced literature was such a revelation for me. And eventually I ended up joining the literature committee, and I've been on it for a long time. In terms of personal writing, I mean, I do keep a journal. I'm irregular with it, but I really write for myself. And this is the first time I've actually considered writing a meditation for anybody else to read. I mean, I like to write and I like to edit. But I haven't experienced meditation. So I'm looking forward to it. What else did I want to say? This is where I didn't write down what I was going to say, so I don't remember what I said before, so it probably doesn't even really matter. So I hope everybody enjoys the workshop. And I will switch over to Debbie now.
Thank you. I want to thank Sara and Terry so much for working so hard on this project of writing a new daily meditation. I came to CoDA and about 9 years ago, almost 10. And one of the things that I found invaluable is CoDA literature. And being part of the in this reading in this moment that was introduced to me after reading this little book. Sometimes hearing it online at the in this moment meditation meeting that we participated in the past or now. And one time during one of the meetings, someone had mentioned that the reading was about springtime and the flowers and renewing. And one of my friends made a comment that they were getting ready for a northeaster on the East Coast, and it just really didn't apply. So I rewrote that particular one just for her. And I do find writing to be beneficial for my recovery as well, because I can think about something, I can speak my truth. Sharing our experience, strength, and hope, sharing is part of our recovery. So when I speak it lasts for a little while. When I write it down, that can be shared and recovered. I can sometimes look back on past journal entries and see the good that has come, and that gives me hope. So I'm really thankful for the program and thankful to Taylor and Sara. I'd like to spread that gift around to everyone. Yes.
Thank you. So today we are writing with a purpose, to come together to write our experience, strength, and hope. It's a time set aside for the recovery tool of writing, and inspiration is so fleeting if not written down. The benefits of writing internally for ourselves are connection with the higher power, connection with our inner wisdom, greater understanding of ourselves in recovery. Writing enhances our memory and leads to revelations and captures thoughts for my future reflection. External benefits of sharing what we have written carries the message to other codependents. Captures thoughts for others' future reflections and builds CoDA unity. Inspiration can come in many ways: reading CoDA literature, listening or sharing at meetings, writing after prayer and meditation. And today there is the option to carry the message in writing for the new daily reader, Lighting Our Path Daily Meditations for Recovering Codependents. And these submissions would be starting with a quote from CoDA Conference endorsed literature. And if you have problems finding a quote, we can help you do that. CoDA Conference endorsed literature is where I get my answers. And for those in person, I do have all the literature up here. So if you're stuck on something, grab some literature, open it up, and see what you find out. So anyway, you follow the quote with your own personal writing. And it could be on a step, tradition, service concept, promise, any CoDA literature, another topic. And this form of submission for the daily reader is approximately 100 to 200 words. The book may look bigger than the In This Moment book. So feel free to write whatever, shorter or a little longer. So, I did want to read a meditation example. This is called In This Moment, A New Way is Better. In This Moment, Daily Meditation Book, 2nd edition, page 56. Letting go of people-pleasing. My codependent characteristic of people-pleasing may have been based on my alcoholic parent always saying no, sometimes before the question was completely out of my mouth. Mom, can I? No. Needing approval, needing a yes that never came, I sought that approval from others. I'd go out of my way to be liked. If I got into an elevator with a stranger, I'd know their history before we reached our floor, and they would like me. With the help of my higher power, whom I call God, CoDA has brought me to a new level of authenticity. I can love myself and see myself more as my loving God sees me. Love brought an acceptance of me as I am, gifts and flaws and all. I do not need to define myself by what another person thinks of me. Letting go of my neediness was painful. Working the program and recognizing character defects hard, but necessary for my healing. This new way is better, remembering the only requirement for membership is a desire for healthy and loving relationships. Thank God this is becoming true for me. Love is key in my relationship with God, with myself, and with others. Thank you, CoDA. So to get back to the writing assignment, of course you can write about whatever's on your heart. We can help you find a quote if you want to submit it. That would be great. Submit to literature@coda.org. Or I can take a picture of it if you'd like and type it. But it's not mandatory, of course. You can keep your thoughts to yourself. And like I said, you can write from anything you've heard from the workshops and speakers here or from your meetings at home, or write as you're inspired. And for those on virtual, I did mention my T-shirt, which says, "Cat, stop me, meow, I'm on a roll." So hopefully that applies to some of you.
It's been 18 minutes, so we have 2 minutes left of our original 20-minute time. Did we want to extend that?
Yeah, it's up to us. Let's go 2 minutes and then we'll go back to the talk and questions and shares if you wish. That was probably around about 20 minutes. Does anybody have any
Recording
questions?
in progress.
Oh, thank you. Yes, does anybody have any questions or comments or would like to share what they've written so far? I guess you should come up to the mic here so you're on camera if you wish. If you wish to remain anonymous, of course you can stay seated.
All right. We got a volunteer. Awesome. Thank you.
Does the X mark the spot? Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Lou L. I'm from Mahomet, Illinois, near Champaign-Urbana. Grateful to be here. And I'll share this. It's step 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood God. One of my fears as I came into CoDA was that I would need to compromise my understanding of God. This step is plural. Our will, our lives, our understanding. Do I give up my God to embrace your God? Being the people pleaser I didn't want to make a mistake or displease anyone. But I also wanted to please my God. I know my God loved me, and helping me to become the child of God He meant me to be. After many meetings and interactions with fellow CoDA members, I came to realize that my God was big enough to handle it. I could trust Him. After about a year in CoDA, I realized I was more accepting of myself. That allowed me to accept others as others who are different from me. We are equals as members of the CoDA Fellowship. I'm also equal to all the members of the world. Now, 17 years later, I am more in love with myself, my God, my spouse, and accepting of those I meet today.
Thanks a lot, Lou. Is there a virtual hand up?
Oh, no.
There is, Karen.
She's going for it. Go for it.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Okay, I wrote down that I don't look down anymore. I used to look down in an effort to go unnoticed, but I was very busy. I was solving problems that didn't actually exist, but I still had to be prepared just in case. Staging conversations with myself kept me on guard for the what ifs. This took a lot of concentration and commitment. I look up now. My mind isn't racing, so I have the time. Although I don't find as much money as I used to, I do get to see all kinds of strange and beautiful things. Take today, for example. I was on a leisurely drive and suddenly stopped for a full-grown turkey to cross the road. You don't get much of that where I'm from. I was enjoying a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit, but still had the time to register a guy riding a bicycle hitchhiking while riding a bicycle. That's a first for me. I saw a huge herd of about cows on the opposite side of the highway. Beautiful black cows of all sizes, and one brown and white one. And the first thing that entered my mind was, I wonder how gets any action. And I laughed my way down the road, realizing how lucky to be alive, how lucky I am not to look down. This all happened before noon. And how lucky I am to work the CoDA steps so I could have a real life, not the pretend life I used to think was normal. And for that, I am grateful.
Thank you, Karen.
Anybody else in person? Oh, yeah, sure. Go on.
Linnea, Codependent. My writing is about the third step prayer in the CoDA Blue Book. God, I give to you all that I am and all that I will be for your healing and direction. Make new this day as I release all my worries and fears, knowing that you are by my side. Please help me to open myself to your love, to allow your love to heal my wounds, and to allow your love to flow through me and from me to those around me. This prayer is such a comfort to me because it encourages me to grow in this program, reminding me that my higher power will be with me now and in the changes that will occur. I am the daughter of a worrywart, and so this also reminds me that I can let go of all my worries and fears. Make new this day reminds me that I don't have to work this program perfectly. At any time, I can start again by saying this prayer. Lastly, this prayer reminds me to take time to connect with my higher power first, then and only then allow my higher power to work with me to love others.
Thank you.
Any online? Okay, we have somebody in person.
Hi, everybody. My name's Linda. I'm from New York. I'm codependent. My reading is about my favorite promise number 3. I know a new freedom. I spent most of my life looking outside of myself for happiness. Was it in a person? Was it in a career? Was it in a new place to live or that new car? Perhaps it was for the moment. However, that moment was temporary, and so was my happiness. When I came to CoDA, I read the promises. I can expect a miraculous change in my life as I make an honest effort to work the 12 steps and follow the 12 traditions. Today, I know that happiness is an inside job. I'm free to be me. I know a new sense of happiness. I am an important, special, lovable person, just the way I am right now. I know a new freedom. Thank you, CoDA.
Thank you very much.
Great. All right, looks like we have some online.
Ivana?
Hi, Ivana. I'll keep my camera off because I'll be reading from my phone what I wrote. So I wrote what I needed to hear today. In this moment, I wait. The way forward is not clear, so I wait until clarity shows up. My old impulse is to rush and try this and that, appease this person and that one. In panic, I'd run around trying anything just to soothe the fear, coming from that old belief that I'm somehow failing every minute of every day. Today, I sit with it. The way forward is not clear, so I wait until I receive guidance from my higher power. This moment, waiting looks like putting one foot in front of the other. I don't need to be taking action every second of every day. It's okay to just be. I'm right where I'm meant to be. I won't be late for the things that are right for me.
All right. What about any more in virtual? All right, moving on.
I have one.
Oh, Debbie has her actual hand, and then there's a raised hand.
Great, go for it.
Uta?
If someone else wants to go, I'll be happy to acquiesce.
Okay, then we can come back to you.
Hi, Codependent. I was writing about the preamble. First sentence, Codependents Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women whose common purpose is to develop healthy relationships. Goodbye to the 2 rooms I wanted you to move into. The rooms waiting for you, your hi-fi equipment, music instruments, and exercise equipment. I probably spent countless hours looking for this house where there would be enough room for both of us. I was so grateful when I decorated the rooms, anticipating good times. Goodbye to the future I saw for both of us. Goodbye to the afternoons spent gardening together. I wanted to say this farewell and be done with it. Now it's time to let the emotions well up, swirl around, meander through my body, mind, soul, and heart. I feel the goodbye. Goodbye to the disconnection also and the stonewalling. Goodbye to my attempts of fixing you instead of focusing on myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Debbie had her real hand up here, so if you want to have one more, or
sure,
Debbie.
Okay. From the Making Choices booklet, there are so many. I haven't really chosen which quote inspired me, but on page 5 it says, "In place of these old ideas, we can choose new thoughts, positive statements of recovery." And a few suggestions. There's one that, "I let my higher power lead my way. I am safe and secure. I release all worn-out behavior in my life. I'm exactly where I need to be, and when I'm ready, I have the ability to move on." And I don't know which one I would choose for my writing. Decisions. The inability to make a decision was very strong in my personality prior to recovery and self-discovery in CoDA. One perfect example of this, in one day when my sister and I were trying to decide what to do, it was perfectly beautiful, sunshiny day. We debated back and forth on the best way to use the time. And we ended up using the entire day trying to decide what the perfect thing was to do. What a waste. Thinking others could make better decisions or thinking I had to make the perfect decision was debilitating. With my marriage partner, I acquiesced on almost all decisions. What movie to watch, where to go for dinner. Even our wedding, my husband did most of the planning with my approval. But he did found the florist and the flowers and. There were a few exceptions where my core values would have been threatened, but I compromised. but mostly the compromise was me compromising. But thank God for CoDA. Thank God those days are over, because after so many years of giving control to my husband, it's a bit hard now for us to work the partnership, but we are progressing on that as well. Setting boundaries, learning to lovingly say no, little by little, day by day. It's life journey. It's getting better. Thank you for all the lessons learned and tools in total recovery.
Okay, I'll go. Sara, codependent. Mine is entitled Our. By actively applying the principles of our program, we see that neither control nor compliance supports our common welfare and unity. The 12 Steps and 12 Traditions Workbook, page 16. I just realized that the word our before common welfare in Tradition 1 includes me. I was great at compliance, going along with what others wanted, not making waves, not standing up for myself. Wasn't this putting our common welfare first? I don't want to admit it, but I was controlling because I thought I knew what was best for everyone and did it for them. Wasn't this putting our common welfare first? I used to do anything for the welfare of others. It turned out that that wasn't the healthy thing to do for me or them. My personal recovery depends upon unity. My welfare is as important to the welfare of others. I'm grateful to be learning these lessons in CoDA. I matter.
There was a hand virtually. If that person's still interested, can raise their hand again. Donna. Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Donna. I'm codependent, and I'm going to stay off camera. This is from a collection of the stories in the back and regards to my journey into CoDA. In this moment, I return to my breath, gently drawn in and out, returning to my journey, softly breathing my way back to who I am, who I've always been. When I came to CoDA, I was speechless and had lost my voice. Now, no matter how uncomfortable and scared I might seem, I move forward into uncharted ground. I'm coming home, back into my heart where I belong.
Thank you. Terry, you're muted.
Thank you. So I want to give a shout out to all the people that got started but didn't get very far. So this is how far I got. I somehow decided that I was going to write on a tradition. So I pulled out Traditionally Speaking, and I just kind of flipped through. And I picked up on Tradition 5. So, which is, each group has but one primary purpose: to carry its message to other codependents who still suffer. And then the quote that I found on it's on page 23, is from somebody who wrote, what is the primary purpose of personal relationships? You know, until I was in CoDA, or until I was quite a ways along in the CoDA journey, I had no idea. I couldn't have explained what that was, what the purpose was, other than maybe in transactional terms, like, you know, people that I worked with or whatever. But this is what I wrote so far. I just said, recently, CoDA literature has expanded my understanding of the 12 traditions as guides to creating healthy and loving relationships in my life, not just in CoDA service. So that's as far as I got writing, but I got to thinking about, you know, this idea of purposeful relationships, or the purpose of a relationship, and how in CoDA, as I've changed and I've grown and I've become healthier and more aware of my motives and more aware of I don't want to say the word healthy even, although healthy, yes, but meaningful relationships versus not meaningful or maybe even harmful relationships. I've lost a lot of relationships. And some of them were really hard because they were people that I knew a long time. But I feel like this idea of, so here I am talking to somebody, or here I am in a relationship with somebody, what is the purpose of it? And it's kind of empty unless there's a common purpose. or at least a recognition of some kind of common purpose. I mean, even just, going to the grocery store. I live in a small town, and it's really nice to go and see the same people and say, hey, I have a minimal relationship, but I don't feel like nervous, like, oh, do I have the correct change? Or, it was always like my mind was always speeding along, worrying about something, or maybe something not having to do with that person at all. But now I can just look at people, interact with them, and move along. And it's such a gift, such a gift. And with that, I'll pass. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Anyone else?
Have somebody in person?
Okay, it's a rough draft, so hopefully I can read my own handwriting. Oh, it marks the spot. Cool. All right, mine's kind of on a pattern, and the quote from our keynote yesterday, if I say or do X, then that person will say or do X, and then I will be happy, or safe, or whatever, fill in the blank. That person seems upset with my request. That person keeps asking me to choose instead of directly saying what they want, think, or feel. That person complimented my coworkers instead of me. That person is acting passive-aggressively towards me. That person walked away without saying anything to me. That person greeted others, but not me when they arrived. What's so wrong or bad about me that I keep being neglected by these people? In recovery, when I first began my CoDA journey, this won't be in my writing draft, but that was last year, I learned the patterns, and specifically this one. Low self-esteem pattern. Codependents are often unable to identify or ask for what they need or want. In recovery, I meet my own needs and wants when possible, and I reach out for help when it's necessary and this is kind of cutting in and out. And so I went about asking, speaking up, making my requests known, and standing up for myself. I used to let others, I also learned and realized in CoDA, I used to let others act however they wanted to, and I would just smile and be nice in my response. All the while, I had to act a certain way for them to like me or accept me. So in an effort to reach out when it's necessary or appropriate, I asked if they would practice positivity or if they were upset. I asked them to practice being more direct with me. I asked for positive feedback at work. I asked for them to acknowledge me before they left, and I asked them to include me in their greeting. This was a step, but my life and my relationships were still feeling unmanageable. So after going to the CoDA World Conference, I don't know what I should call it, I learned that I can still be less vigilant of others' behavior and replace that with tuning into me and my inner family, asking them what they need, my inner committee, and I will try my best to learn to be open to meet my needs for myself. I'm still a bit worried about how to have loving boundaries versus fearful ones, but I know because I'm in CoDA, I have what I need to build that skill with my own authentic timing. Thank you.
So there's one we have Diane virtually.
Okay.
She might have missed that.
Hi. Do you hear me?
I do.
Okay. I don't know if this is for publication, but writing and sharing has been a huge part of my recovery. So in recent years, the 12-piece relationship toolkit has helped me so much. And I'm sharing from Tradition 8, which is about unconditional love. As we practice removing the conditions from our relationships, we find that we can be more honest, open, and direct. We begin to see our higher power working in our relationships and in the lives of those we love. So that's sort of a quote. I have been able to remove some of my conditions from my lifelong relationship with my husband gradually in recovery. My conditions included my own expectations that he had never agreed to over the decades. One of those expectations was that he'd welcome my friends to our home and spend time with them. Although he believed that I should welcome his friends, he didn't believe that he should do the same. Recently, after years of recovery, I was able to ask him to sit on the patio with a couple I'm friends with during the pandemic. He said he doesn't enjoy spending times with them, which he had done as an obligation after our separation. We found peace with this issue by practicing being honest, open, and direct. This has brought us to a new plateau, intimate plateau in our marriage. His honesty about his wants has given me an example of stating my preferences about not participating in social situations with his friends. We've each removed conditions, spoken or unspoken, from our relationship. As a result, the quality of our shared time has become much more fun and loving. The end.
We have somebody in person. Is this working? And a new mic. So hopefully the audio will be a little better. On the X.
Hi, I'm Jan, codependent. I am perfectly me from the affirmation booklet, CoDA affirmation booklet. When I came into CoDA, I was attempting to control my children to see the world as I did and for my own convenience. My identity personally was missing. I wanted them to prove my worth to the world by being perfect young adults. This set us up for conflict around perfectionism and never being enough. In CoDA, I learned that boundaries are essential for healthy relationships. Just as my children were growing up and taking on their own lives, so too I needed to let go, pivot, and take on my own life. Who am I beyond motherhood? What do I want to do? What makes me happy? Today I am perfectly imperfect, and I am me. They are living their lives, and they are perfectly their own selves. I'm so grateful now I can interact and support each and let them go with their own results as they belong to that individual. I'm grateful also for my journey back to me. It's perfect.
Thank you. Thank you all for attending. We have a few more minutes. We encourage you to keep writing as you're inspired. I just want to say, wow. What I heard today, I hope I can read it all again. Hint, hint. That's literature at CoDA.org. If you feel like submitting, that would be great. So again, Lighting Our Path, daily meditations for recovering codependents, or I'll put a plug in for Story Gatherers, which is personal CoDA recovery stories from 900 to 4,000 words. Does Terry or Debbie have anything else to say?
Yeah, I would love to. I wasn't really sure what I would expect, and what to expect for today. I mean, in CoDA, one of the blessings is to tamp down or let go of those expectations that I used to have a lot of. But I'm just blown away by the quality of the writing and the depth of recovery that I've heard today. And like Sara, I hope I'll read them all again because you guys rocked it. And I think, one of the things I've heard about, I'm just going to put this out there. I know in some meetings they use an outside daily reader. And one of the comments that was made, because I asked someone who's been in CoDA a long time, why are you holding on to that book? It's not CoDA. And what they said was, most people will say, if I ask them, they'll say, oh, I like it. I like it, or I like it better than, in this moment, or whatever their opinion is, which is fine. Everybody can have an opinion about whatever they want. But that just really struck me that this person in their meeting, they're looking for something with a bit of depth. And I think, I just want to say we have that depth. In the meditations that have been submitted before today, and also in what I've heard today, it's like my heart is full. And I thank you so much. And I'll pass.
Oh, definitely. If I might say a couple words too, I'll just jump in before Sara has to ask me to. Really, really thankful for this time. I also didn't know what this workshop would be like. And, when I hear experience, strength, and hope, such as this, I really do hope that gets solidified and put into writing. One of the shares I even had to write down a little blurb that, because I'm like, wow, that's profound. I had to write it down now. And hopefully that we'll all be reading these again. I do want to caution everyone, because you can write for the publication. We ultimately need over 366 of what we heard today. But also, I just want to let everyone know this is going to take quite some time to publish, because 366 submissions, edited, trying to make sure all the quotes are a variety of all the different. I loved that I heard so many different pieces of literature today, and there's so much out there. I agree with Terry. There's such a plethora of literature. I think I have almost everything except the most recently published. And there's so much out there that there's really no need to go to anything outside of CoDA endorsed literature. So that's why we're going to have this quote for other people to meditate on, and then our story about what we feel about that quote, about that piece that we read. Sometimes when you're reading, just even reading some of the literature, something might pop out at you. Sometimes even words seem like bold because they're resonating in my heart. Once that happens, if I don't stop what I'm doing and think on it or meditate or write on it, that moment may be gone. Fortunately, God has a way of knocking me on the head, and there's a message that I need to hear. I'll hear it again somehow, but it's really important to pass this information on. So what I've done also is there's also the connections that is just an email. It goes out once. Everybody can read it. So that's also available for just getting it out right away. But do submit to both. Get the connections out there, and also send it to us at CoDA, at literature@coda.org. And really looking forward to seeing more of what I heard today. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Sara, Terry.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I did see in chat, when will this come out? And like Debbie said, we need 366. Right now, I think we have 43. So it's up to you guys. Please tell your CoDA friends. Tell your sponsor to write one. I mean, you can ask people to write and send it in, and feel free to write more than one. Let's see. In closing, I would like to close with a longer serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Grant me patience with the changes that take time, appreciation of all that I have, tolerance of those with different struggles, and the strength to get up and try again, one day at a time. Thanks,
Awesome.
everybody.
Can we give them a round of applause? Not only did they give one presentation, they had to give it again. So I think they did a great job. And yeah, thank you guys. One more round of applause. So just some final notes for the in-person people. We are having a dinner buffet that does require a ticket, so you have had to purchase that before, and we do not have extra tickets. So if you don't, then it'll be dinner on your own. And we will have a speaker from 7:30 to 8:30 in this room. It will be a virtual speaker, food and body image, using the patterns and characteristics to gain awareness of codependent relationship with food and body image. So we'll see you guys back. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, could we, hello, Holly? Did everybody disappear?
No, you have people.
We have our little, a closing we've read this Serenity Prayer, but could we read the promises for this closing of the virtual section?
Sure.
Or tonight.
Oh, and I also was asked to, we do have that free shipping for any CoDA literature, and that is coupon code conference 2022. So if you have any, if anybody wants to know anything about that. And sorry, I just remembered that, Carol. So, yeah. Do we have somebody virtually that wants to volunteer to read those?
I haven't asked anybody, so would somebody like to read the promises of codependence? I'm going to put it up on the screen here. First one with their hands up. I'll take it.
Julia.
Great. You can. Yep. Ready when you are. 12 promises.
Thank you, Julia, Codependent. 12 promises of Codependents Anonymous. 1. I know a new sense of belonging. The feeling of emptiness and loneliness will disappear. 2. I am no longer controlled by my fears. I overcome my fears and act with courage, integrity, and dignity. 3. I know a new freedom. 4. I release myself from worry, guilt, and regret about my past and present. I am aware enough not to repeat it. 5. I know a new love and acceptance of myself and others. I feel genuinely lovable, loving, and loved. 6. I learn to see myself as equal to others. My new and renewed relationships are all with equal partners. 7. I am capable of developing and maintaining healthy and loving relationships. The need to control and manipulate others will disappear as I learn to trust those who are trustworthy. 8. I learn that it is possible to mend, to become more loving, intimate, and supportive. I have the choice of communicating with my family in a way which is safe for me and respectful of them. 9. I acknowledge that I am a unique and precious creation. 10. I no longer need to rely solely on others to provide my sense of worth. 11. I trust the guidance I receive from my higher power and come to believe in my own capabilities. 12. I gradually experience serenity, strength, and spiritual growth in my daily life.
Thank you so much. Thanks for everybody who gave service, as we say at the end of meetings, and Holly on the floor. And so that's the end of ICC virtually.
Recording stopped.
All right, and if we can give everybody a virtual little shout out and can clap for all the virtual attendees. Thank you.
And I did put in the chat the requirements that were to be in the handout and where to send submissions. Someone had asked at it's just literature@coda.org.